welcome to another edition of the program Total Woman. My name is Muti Olori. Despite the progress that has been made in recent times, gender inequality remains a serious problem in many aspects of life, even globally. While disparity exists throughout the world, they are most prevalent in developing countries. Gender inequality is found in education, healthcare, nutrition, political representation, even at home and in the marketplace. This pattern of inequality begin at an early age, with boys routinely receiving a larger share of the food, of education, of health spending than girls. In politics, women are vastly underrepresented in decision-making positions. These issues will be discussed on the program today. Total Woman, we seek to find out why there has been a decline in the number of women in elected and appointed political office. We speak to human rights and advocate professional who has been providing full-time gender and program advisory services to a global conciliation and mediation non-profit organization, Search for Common Ground. My guest today is a human rights and advocacy professional who has been in the gender front, talking and fighting for women equality for years now. Please join me to welcome Ene Ede. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much, ma. Ma, look at the proportion of seats held by women in the last few years has come down to as low as 3.3%.
Yeah.
Before now, like in 2010, it was as high as 7%. Why the decline?
You know, each time we talk about the statistics, it's overwhelming. It weighs one down emotionally and spiritually. So many reasons are responsible. You know, power, if you look at access to power, the process or the processes that get people to power, either at elective level or appointive level, in Nigeria, is unique, like no other. There's no comparison in the whole world. That is on one side. If you look at the flip side of it, they benefit from holding public offices. Uncountable. So naturally, to be violent to get there, aggression, holding the space, getting to that place is narrow. So for women, it's narrower. For everybody, it's narrow because of what it takes to ascend the throne of public office or public offices in Nigeria. And what are the reasons? In all over the world, processes of getting to public offices, both elective and appointed position, you can have the criteria are visible. Do you have attitude to serve? Do you have good record of dealing with certain issues? Do you have a track record of success, having dealt with in your own area of endeavor, your career or your profession? Have you been successful? Do you love human beings? Do you believe in human dignity? Do you believe in the Constitution of Nigeria? Do you believe in equality? Do you believe in diversity? These are some of the criteria generally. But when it comes to Nigeria, it's not just God for that reason. Money involved. You've heard about people giving as much as 1 billion naira to hold. Which woman will ever want to give such money? Or which woman will want to do some other things that, for reasons of not insulting the sensibilities of people, things that we can only talk hush hush. Which woman will be willing to do that? The criteria here in Nigeria is different from other countries. Those are the visible ones those are some of the ones who can talk about. Then when you come to the violence, the level of violence, how many women can cope with it? And an aspect of violence that a number of women, whether single, married, a grandmother, women of all classes and women of all ages cannot deal with, there is high demand for sex.
Would you say that was what attributed to the case of Kogi State with one of the aspirants and then the woman leader?
It's a reality. Threat to life and death. You can see what happened to the woman leader in Kogi.
Yes.
Just because she demonstrated support for a particular candidate. Today is history. Bad history. And that is what we are able to know. What about incidences that you have to make sacrifices? And you have to sign to say, look, 50% of the proceeds from this office, whether it is legitimate or not, will go to my godmother or my godfather. How do you want to cope with that? The women don't have strong conscience to deal with that. But these are the realities. You've seen godfathers, godmothers in politics fall apart violently. Have you heard that about women? Because they don't go into such agreement. For you to contest election, the money you need to is too much. Everywhere in the world, you need money to contest election. You need money to maintain public office, but not as much as Nigeria. You've heard them talk about, if you want to be a governor, you cannot talk about coming out with the minimum amount specified in the Electoral Act. They go far above what is specified. Who is tracking them? Are they trackable? Does INEC have the power? Even the civil society. There are various ways. So what somebody described as trickery, the intrigues is thick. And one woman had described that the arena where people get to power, either elective or appointed position, he says it's a cult, not in the negative. That is
something that
is a boys' club. Yes. It's like this. Getting into that circle, it has layers.
Yes.
Either you get your neck broken, you get a knock, you get a kick, you get a pin down. But so who wants to go through that?
I thought we're making progress.
Yes, with President Jonathan, we made tremendous program. I see display the banner in my house. 13 female ministers, and they gave effect to their offices.
So does it mean we've not proven ourselves to that point?
No, that is not the issue. Look at some of the people in power. What are they delivering? Look at the few women in power, just the 5 women in power. Are they not delivering on their mandates? But who is hearing of them? Who is blowing their thumb? Who is speaking for them in the coven, the democratic coven, where some of the women cannot reach for obvious reasons? There are places they cannot reach because it would have eroded, it would have diminished your dignity. But most of the men don't give a damn, provided they hold on to power. What about speaking? Is it that the women don't have voice? Look at somebody like Minister Sharon. Look at the Minister of State for Trade and Investment. Solid women in this position. Who is hearing their voices? Will all the media platform give them opportunity to speak? Can they pick up the bills? No. When they think about how much they will need to pay for certain things to happen, I'm not saying media, because media too does a lot of social corporate responsibility, and they've been good to women, but they can do more. Who is amplifying the voices of women? Let's just think about what is happening now. I took my time to do analysis of the responses to COVID-19. What has happened is going to affect women in 2027, not just 2023. Who are the ones visible? Look at the National Task Force. It's not appointable. It's not elective yet. Just little nomination here and there.
Yes. I think
who has capacity?
Women groups came up to say,
why who has capacity to deal with details? So you want to give this, you want to share things, you want to identify needs, you want to be able to heal trauma naturally. Is it not women? 12. How many women are there? 2, the Minister of Humanitarian Service and our sister from World Health Organization. For God's sake, why is the Minister of Women Affairs not there? Why is Barrister Sharon not there? The Minister of Trade? Because we are not dealing with the immediate, we are dealing with the aftermath of COVID-19. So if you look at that aspect, those who are visible, sharing the palliatives, as if it's their personal fund, it's public funds. They are making a statement, and they are the ones people are seeing. Oh, they gave us this palliative. Thank you. You know, Nigerians are very innocently generous with praise. Thank you for giving. It's even their own. Instead of them to say, is this all? Yes, thank you. Is this all we deserve? We have 20 bags of rice. Thank you very much, but is that what is allocated? And you find out.
So the position we will find ourselves today is a whole lot. It's much more than just someone giving us an opportunity.
Exactly.
It's us not even knowing where what to do, what our rights are.
You are right.
And what we should be demanding for. Okay, we'll take a short break. When we come back from this break, we'll be looking at what we can do.
Thank you very much.
What we can do.
Very
How
important.
do we get women to decision-making positions?
Yeah.
And how do we get other women to know their rights?
Very
so that
important.
when they begin to give us carrots, we can tell them that it's much more
Exactly.
than that. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Please don't go away. It's still Total Woman on AD4 TV Radio. Welcome back. It's still Total Woman on AD4 TV Radio. And we've been talking about women inequality, gender inequality, and why are women not adequately represented in policies and decision-making positions? Because with inadequate representation, our issues are not on the forefront. There's no other person that can address women issues more than women, because we know it and we feel it. No, I know we've been talking about he for she's, but it's not as much as us being there. And my guest, Ene Ede, you all know, is someone who's been working with women and gender issues for years. And she's been able to identify some of the issues, some of the problems, some of the challenges women are having for being in there. My next question is, what should we do?
Simple. It's just that somehow we have not been able to apply that. Maybe we think it's too simplistic to work. Take, for example, it's party politics. You don't have independent candidature has not been approved by either the Constitution or the Electoral Act. Then what are we left with? To be active in partisan politics. When I say partisan politics, it's practically impossible for all of us to become politicians, to be card-carrying members. But there is so much we can do. Mobilize quality women who can be part of the political processes, especially at the level of holding positions at the party levels, because that is where decisions are taken. There are other smaller committees too that are formed within the political parties. Now we have just 18. So we cannot say they are too numerous for us to know which one to join.
To join, yes.
We can also, as professionals, career women, support these political parties. Any of the 18.
In the INEC constitution or guidelines, is it allowed for women to have their own political party?
No, for
as
now,
professionals?
not even any guideline.
Okay.
Even the constitution.
Okay, does not.
It's just
allow
like
for
you
that.
cannot form a party and say this party belongs to the Middle Belters or belongs to the South, people from South.
But we can have
because
an
they want it to
all-women
be
party?
inclusive. No, we cannot have an all-women party. It's not possible for now. The constitution has not allowed it. The ideal thing to even do is for us to be together. That inclusion is important for all of us to pool our resources, human, material, and moral materials together. It's very important. So a lot of people believe that women alone party will not help us for so many reasons, because we don't have the finance. We have the number, but before you can put the number together, you need money. It's not about making money, monetizing politics, but the reality is that you have to pay bills. You can't call people together. Logistics and even setting up structures, you need money. That is the reality. So if we apply these simple strategies, it will work. Support them, whether you're a career woman, you have retired from the army or any of the security. There are a number of women who are not involved. They are just watching. You can't afford to watch. We have the number. You can also, when you get into a position, mentor and coach women.
That's
I want you to look at it's a major
mentorship
challenge.
Generally is a challenge.
It is.
As
But
a
we have
country.
to do it as challenging as it is. Some complain that they want a formal process, they want money, they want structures. While we plan for that, there is an emergency when it comes to coaching and mentoring. Most of the men you see today that are in power, most of them, we are PAs, SAs, some are just hanging around the men, and they are able to learn the ropes. You see, sometimes when when men get to position, they make mistakes, but they're able to come out free quickly because
So
they have a number.
why is it difficult for women?
Yes, you see, the obstacles, socio-cultural obstacles against us are many.
Okay.
One, as a female, you are not as free as, whether we like it or not, at any level. There's that visible and invisible barrier. How many women will just come and say, "Oh, honey," talking to their husbands, "I'm on my way to the airport. I'll be back in 1 week." Is it possible? It's a barrier. But the men are freer. They have freed themselves, and they free themselves more, and they have access to resources.
Let's talk about the 35% affirmation.
Okay.
I remember 25 years ago at the Beijing conference, these issues were brought up that, okay,
Exactly.
women should be given such opportunities. We're also asking in political parties, women should be given such opportunities. What is the problem that Nigeria, in all spheres, I'm talking about all,
Yeah, you're
have
right.
not been able
right.
to implement this 35%?
You are right, to the extent that even among the women, because they say he or she who goes to equity must go with clean hands. Even within the women's circle, we are not also been able to achieve that. It still goes back to patriarchy and the orientation and the way we are meant to see it, so that you are not called names, lesbian, men hater, and the rest of it.
It's not that we don't have women that are capable to fill those places.
We have numerous women, both visible and those who are at the background. But here is it. Within our fold, look at all the women in power. For strange reasons, if you do an analysis, a sex or demographic analysis of who is hanging around them, both officially and unofficially, you will notice that they are mostly men. How they find themselves, one go their way, and they are the ones influencing the women. Not for us, but for them. So that on its own is a problem. You also not blame the women, because the process that brings them to power is influenced by some of the men. So somehow it's part of the bargaining chip.
If it's created, is it possible to say, whatever we do in appointive and elective, 35% goes to women? Let's look for the women to fill in that.
It's not difficult to do. It is.
So why is it not done?
The reason is still because the way power is enjoyed in this place, in this country, men want to hold on to it. What is the problem? 12 members of the presidential tax team. Why is it that only 2 women are? Let me even say 1, because the other one is not a Nigerian. The offices happens to be located there, and it's deliberate to have brought her in. Why is the Minister of Women Affairs and some other relevant ministries are not there as well, and they are effective? Is to tell you that they want this power relations, because they use power to do so much, to empower themselves, to fight their enemies and the rest of it. Who can also mobilize women who are there. If you check, there are women who have retired from the tri-service, that is the Navy, the Air Force, and the Navy. Who has gone to mobilize? And you have generals. They are there. What are they doing? Why can't we mobilize them to be part of? They can be the outer layer of process of governance. Because of their regimented training, they may not be able to tolerate some of the things we do in politics.
A final question.
Yes.
Let's look at electoral reform. What role will that play?
You see, if we are able to get it specifically, yes, electoral reform will help us. What will help us mostly is to get affirmative action to the Constitution. It has helped many other countries who have been able to cross the signpost of 35%. There are those who have reached 75%.
Yes, we know the
80%.
story. We know the story of
They've left Nigeria
nations.
behind.
Yes.
If we don't get it done in Nigeria,
like Rwanda and all that. Yes.
If we don't get it done as an interim measure, we will not be able to get much done. No matter how we struggle, no matter the effort, you can see fatigue all over all stakeholders. Donors are getting tired of sponge. It's like putting more water inside the basket. Where is it taking you?
I think this is the right time for us, because we know that the constitutional amendment is on. So it's the right time for us to put in our papers.
And the person has the attitude of inclusion.
Is a he for she.
Exactly.
So it's the right time for us to begin to make that advocacy.
Yes. It has been on.
that
And
we
it's been
want
received.
it to be enshrined in the Constitution
Yes.
of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I want to say a very big thank you for being
my
my
pleasure.
guest today. And thank you for sharing your wealth of experience and knowledge with us. If we're able to implement, especially the mentorship you've talked
It's
about,
very
and the
important.
all-inclusiveness,
Yes.
getting all the women in retired to come in
All
one
of
way or
them.
the other
Yeah.
to share their experience and mentor others, I think we will make a great progress.
Absolutely.
The conversation continues.
Yes.
It is unending.
You know, if you look at it, this started since and it's still there.
Yes.
So if we are able to deal with this, will the ego solve? Nigeria has an ego. It's been on. So we should pay attention to this. Reduce violence against women. If you look at this, this
Yes.
is workplace violence.
55%,
If you have
50%,
to
yes.
look at that.
All right, it's an ongoing conversation, and that is why the program Total Woman is here to lend its voice to the prosperity of women in Nigeria. Thank you very much for spending this time with us. Do join us again next week, where we'll bring you another guest and another issue on women. My name is Muti Olori. God bless you.